Chad Knaus says nobody is holding these single source providers at the level they need to be to give us the parts that we need. After NASCAR assessed Hendrick Motorsports a penalty that included a fine of $400,000.
Just let Brett have all of our time.
Yeah, Brett, spot on, spot off.
I think Chad's lost his mind.
No.
And you know, you're calling out. Listen, I don't like the way that things are going on the Cup Series right now, where you have a single source provider. I enjoy the craftsmanship of a guy being able to fabricate his own body and hang his own body and make modifications to whatever parts they want to make, right? I think that's what NASCAR was built on, was the pioneering of guys like Leonard Wood of the Wood Brothers, who was a brilliant mind, a guy like Dale Inman, who was a brilliant mind, a guy like Ray Evernham, who was a brilliant mind, a guy like Chad Knaus, who was a brilliant mind. But the fact is, you're calling out the supplier partners and basically saying the things that we have in place don't work. So I don't know how this ends well. To me, this is a lot worse than what Josh Williams did this weekend parking on the front stretch, because Josh Williams parked on the front stretch to say, man, you're screwing over the little guy and I ain't taking it. Chad Knaus is saying, we're Hendrick Motorsports and your supplier partners suck.
I mean,
so how can I spot on that?
Here's where I get off topic here on this is like, listen, I could buy if I'm Kaulig Racing, I'm buying it's a single source issue because Kaulig Racing has 2 cars out there, which means they have 4 louvers. They took one of them from Kaulig
Racing. Which makes no sense.
Which makes absolutely no sense. You know what I mean? So, but guess what they took from Hendrick? All 8.
All 8.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it wasn't like, oh, well, we had a little issue with this one over here. No, so they were clearly doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. I get it. It's hit or miss with these single source deals, and you're going to have that when you have one person making all of the louvers for the entire series, or each manufacturer, whatever it is. But you know, when something like Kaulig Racing has one of their 4 taken versus 8 of 8 going, I think there's a difference there. And I thought I saw a really good tweet from Mark Martin this week. It was a picture of, you know, I don't know, probably like maybe early 80s, late 70s Cup race, and it's just all these different body styles. And Mark Martin said, you know, back in these days, we didn't worry about what the hell everybody else had. We just worried about making our better. You know, and that's what these guys, you know, obviously we can't do that anymore but you know, we need to get back to that of, you know, I hate to see the craftsmanship and the fabrication side of it just essentially disappear.
Well, Chad said he could go get stock louvers that are supplied to him and put them on the car and the hood wouldn't close. That he had, I mean, it's like he's trying to publicly say, I have reasoning for why we did what we did. And then you have colleagues saying, we didn't do anything. This is the way why would we modify one louver? Well, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, if you're going to do it, you do it.
You
got to commit to it. If you're going to do it, you might as well go all out.
I think Chad's shot at the sanctioning body right here is because what's their response? Well, we won't ever know their response because they're not going to come out and tell us. And so to me, man, he put them on notice on behalf of the entire garage as saying we're getting crappy parts. Am I lying?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we have some of the issues in the Xfinity series with like some of our 5-star stuff, but it's like they have to make it so fast. It's hard to some hoods will be
perfect. Yeah.
Some hoods will be low, some hoods will be high, or you know, you might have a door that's got something wrong with it, but you can't do anything about it. You know, we don't have a choice.
The only thing I find it funny that it's not like a car over here, a car over there. It's 8 from the same thing. So apparently
you're doing something.
Apparently they saw something they didn't like. That's
it would not surprise me. I don't even know. Have they announced when their appeal is being
No,
held?
that's the weird thing too. Like when you're NASCAR, and I'll listen, I'm pro NASCAR a minute ago. I'll be anti NASCAR now. When you announce the fines, why don't you have the ability right then to set the appeal? Because now you look crazy for not having an appeal date, and you got people's livelihoods in the hanging in the balance. Like they don't know when they're going to appeal. They keep their crew chiefs at home this week and quote ride it out. Like
why did they choose to keep their crew chiefs at home?
I don't know. I mean, that's obviously a Hendrick decision. I will tell you this, Casey. I mean, Atlanta's not like a Darlington where the setup and the thing's going to change. Yeah, I mean, you got high grip scenarios. I would be very surprised if the appeal doesn't happen this week. When you announce the fine, why wouldn't you say, and if you have an appeal, this is your court date? Yeah. If you get a speeding ticket, guess what's on it?
A court date. I know. Trust me.
Yeah, I got it.
So on
I have one.
Listen,
tomorrow.
I think it would not surprise me. It would not surprise me if they win their appeal. Like if they have some kind of documentation that says these louvers are screwed up and this is what we're doing. Like, and NASCAR, I don't. You know, they claim that they have it.
Is there a template for the louver?
I assume. Yeah, I assume they're all supposed to be the same.
I didn't pay attention when we rolled through tech. If I didn't know if the laser scanned the louver or they actually have a
I'm not sure how they check it.
Can I say that I hate the louvers because it screws up the sponsors' logos? Can I say that?
Oh, they're hard to design, right? Because you design paint schemes.
I hate them. I hate those things.
So do the people who wrap the cars.
Oh my goodness!
Take them. I hate them. I literally hate them.
Yeah. They're fun to drive on a road course. I refuse to drive a Cup car on a mile and a half.
kind of on a similar topic. Last week was a big week, I would say, for NASCAR penalties.
They made some money anyway.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Denny Hamlin originally was not going to appeal his penalty, but now will be appealing his penalty after he basically admitted.
No, he didn't basically admit.
He admitted the actions taken last week. Tell us what you guys think about that, and if you feel he will win this one.
I know he got his shingles shot.
He did get his shingles shot. I thought he was cursing out Kelly Crandall. Did you see that interview?
Yeah.
I thought he was being an asshole to Kelly Crandall. He's like, get your I went, what did he say? But then I realized what he was saying. But listen, there's. I mean, me and Brett have a different rule number one, but I think rule number one of everybody's lives is don't you ever tell on yourself. I don't know that was very smart by Dennis.
Old Dennis.
I
like Denny.
Denny's great. You got to get with me on this. But here's my question: what is the difference between what Denny did and what Joey did at Darlington last year? Joey Logano booted William Byron for the win, drove him straight in the fence, passed him, won the race, got out and said, essentially, did not say I intentionally ran in the back of him, but said, you're not going to put me in the fence and get away with it, or something to that effect. So he is basically admitting he knocked William Byron out of the way to win the race. That is affecting the outcome of a race. That's checking all the same boxes Denny did last week, but no penalty for Joey. Keeps the win. No fine. No point penalty 2 weeks later.
It could be worse because he got a win.
He got a win out of it.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. And what is the statute of limitations on this?
Here's the question: how many times a year do all of us? There's 5 of us sitting here with microphones, 5.5 counting Andrew. How many times a year do we see drivers wreck each other on purpose?
A lot.
Yeah, quite a bit.
What is the difference if they admit to it or if they don't?
Apparently $50,000 and 25 points.
Is it hard to tell when a driver wrecks another driver on purpose? It's really
not hard.
It's really not that hard.
That's why I don't wear white
gloves
anymore.
why would we draw all this attention to the fact that Denny told the truth? He tweeted his mama taught him not to lie. He told the truth, and he got popped for $50,000.
Do you want your drivers lying? Do you want your drivers not telling the people?
That's what they want.
That's what they want. Because, and what's this? If Joey Logano comes out, what's the statute of limitations on this? If Logano comes out and says, you know what, I intentionally punted Martin Truex in Martinsville 5 years ago to win that championship. Are we going to start taking points away from that?
Okay, another incident in Martinsville. He told a lie and still got fined.
Who's that?
Matt Kenseth.
Oh, Kenseth. Yeah. It's just
tire blew.
I just don't know. If Denny says this on this week's podcast instead of last week's, is there a fine still? I mean, I don't know.
I don't appreciate the fine for Denny telling the truth because Ross literally won again. Ross has already wrecked this guy how many times? 3 times?
3 times.
He's wrecked him 3 times, and now Denny tries to wreck Ross. He wrecks himself, and then Ross wins again because here Denny is getting fined, wrecked himself. Then he got the short end of the stick.
I'd love to see. I bet you Gabe Hart would probably like to choke Denny on Tuesday when that
Yeah.
Like it was essentially a 40-point penalty.
Yeah.
Because he was running sixth,
Right.
finished 23rd or 24th.
Yes,
So
it's a
you,
net
you,
loss.
You hurt yourself there,
Yeah, it was a
and
bad
then
deal.
you gave another 25 points.
It's like you didn't even start the race.
Yeah,
it's,
you're
literally-
forfeiting a race.
You got 0 points essentially for starting the race.
Damn it, Denny.
This is usually though when he goes on the tear because he did it last year too. He was way behind in the beginning of the year and then just
Yeah. Gets fired up.
Look, here's the thing, man. The top 30 in points rule going away makes all of these Hendrick cars getting fined points irrelevant because, look, I know William Byron would obviously like to have his 10 playoff points back, but at the end of the day, he's still in the playoff, and those other guys are probably going to get in the playoff. And when you look at Kaulig Racing, it's completely different. Like they have – you talk about being top 20 in points – This fine to Kaulig Racing is way more than $100,000
Oh, yeah.
because it's going to completely change where you rank in the points at the end of the season in the event that you don't win a race. What are the odds of 31 winning a race? Look, there's a chance he can win at playoff, at road courses and plate races. The odds of him going out and winning a Charlotte Motor Speedway are very difficult. Texas, very difficult. Beating these super teams at places like Pocono and Michigan, very, very difficult to do. But when you look at their fine of $100,000, it's way more than $100,000. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars being 20th in points versus where they're going to actually finish in the event that they don't make this playoff. So I think Kaulig Racing got hammered way harder than Hendrick got hammered in this particular way because these Hendrick guys are still going to have an opportunity to make their money back by being in the playoff, being top 10 in points, and doing the things that they're going to do.
the same thing happened to us last year. It killed us.
Yeah, your
Now-
whole season.
Yeah, now because of those penalties, we're 5th in the points right now. If we don't have a bad restart at Phoenix, we're I think we're probably 3rd or 4th. So I mean, it can really hurt.
Drivers have a lot of ways to make money, right? Obviously, they're going to
Can
get
you
paid.
write those down for me?
Well, I'm going to talk about Cup drivers for a minute. Xfinity guys used to make a lot of money. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either.
But the Cup
Josh
guys,
is
the big name Cup guys get a base salary, right? They get 40-ish% of the purse.
Wow.
Big money. They get their licensing money. So a guy like Chase Elliott is selling a ton of T-shirts. Guess what? He's getting rich. You can Google Dale Jr.'s net worth. I think it's $300 million. Guess what? He sold a lot of T-shirts. He was estimated to make $20 to $25 million a year per
No boat.
Forbes. I'm not making it up.
Still no boat.
Still no boat. And then obviously
Yeah,
you have
what's
your
up with that?
just
you tell
cheapskate.
me. Yeah.
He's not rich enough to give TJ a boat.
Yep.
But then you've got your endorsements, right? So when you're a driver, if you have a true contract to the means that I just spoke of, that end of the year point fund money is big.
Oh, yeah.
And now you're going to be 30th in points versus 20th in points. Man, you're talking about a big pay cut. So I hope that we get down to the bottom of what happened with these louvers, and I hope that it's a legitimate reason as to why Kaulig Racing and obviously Hendrick Motorsports can find. We need to know the truth of this thing.
I just want to track how long it takes poor Justin to get back to zero. Like, where is he at now?
Yeah, he's in negatives.
He
right?
was negative 40 coming into this week.
Yeah, he's still going to be in negatives.
You have no reason if you're Kaulig Racing and you lose this appeal to do anything other than try to win the race. Screw a stage point. Screw anything. I'm telling you, wreck your mama to win the race.
and, like,
just don't tell anybody.
Because we're talking. Yeah,
So
just don't tell anybody.
Don't admit it. But, like, anywhere we go, if there's a late caution, if I'm stay out.
If you're at Phoenix, what do you do?
Stay out.
If you're 19th,
Anywhere.
last car on the lead lap, caution comes out with 12 to go, what do you do?
Stay out.
And,
Oh, yeah.
and create a complete show.
Yeah,
All the
stay
way
out.
on the flat, baby.
All
the way.
Everywhere we go. I don't care if the tires matter or not.
You stay out. You go at the very end of the restart zone and let them all
Just
wreck.
let them all wreck behind you.
This is the
Arc
death
race.
This is literally if Justin Haley can't go out and win a race, this is the death penalty to this team. It's not Hendrick Motorsports where you have a chance to win every week you show
He's
up.
going to be in the same scenario we are. You're going to circle the plate races, and you're going to have to go after it.
And it's the
You have
death
to race
penalty if
hard.
you can't. Yeah.